Some of these overhyped fast food items of 2019 were genuinely delicious, but also, sparked nothing short of riots. Others were just obviously a marketing ploy, hoping to cash in on the novelty factor. Which of these overly hyped fast food items from 2019 did you fall for? When it was first announced, there was a lot of hype and excitement from the plant-eating community about Burger King's Impossible Whopper. But the big question was, would it be any good? They had the interest of the masses already, and as one of the first fast food chains to offer a meat-free option, Burger King definitely had the market. Impossible Burgers are known for being very meat-like in texture and taste, but Impossible Burgers are also major salt bombs, containing even more sodium content than the original Whopper at a stunning 1,080 milligrams. It also has more carbs and sugar than the original Whopper. Being plant-based doesn't necessarily mean something is good for you, but it was disappointing news to some.
That's an Impossible Whopper?
I'm a damn fool.
One of the biggest letdowns of the Impossible Whopper, though, was Burger King's initial failure to disclose that the plant-based burgers were still being cooked on the same griddle as real meat. After all, they were marketing the burger as 100% plants, 0% beef, and there would definitely be some cross-contamination when they share a grill. This means the Impossible Whopper technically isn't vegetarian, let alone vegan. So all that hype was for nothing. Sorry, plant eaters, this one may not be for you after all.
It doesn't matter anymore. I've moved on.
Trying to recreate a dish in a different form is an interesting task, and can be successful if done right and in an innovative manner. Jack in the Box began to stir up excitement and curiosity when it was reported they were testing burger dippers in Sacramento, California in February 2019. That is, a burger but in a sort of French fry-ish form that you could dip into ketchup or a sauce of your choice. It's an interesting idea, it just ended up not being executed as well as it could have been. First off, Jack in the Box was a bit late to this turning regular food into French fries game. Dunkin' Donuts has already launched their donut fries, and McDonald's came out with donut sticks soon after. Not to mention the fact that Burger King has been selling chicken fries for years.
French fries and I are pregnant. And we're having chicken fries.
Everybody just calm down!
The test store and its customers must have been pretty meh about them, because the dippers went no further than Sacramento. So much for all that excitement, right? When it was reported that Little Caesars was testing out a Frito pie pizza in Tennessee in June 2019, the hype was huge. Obviously, this was a play on a much-loved junk food staple, Frito pie. And if there's one thing America loves, it's junk food. You can make it in different ways, but essentially, Frito pie is a bag of Fritos with chili on top.
It feels like you're holding a orange crap in a bag.
Sometimes you get a little fancy and add cheese or green onion. It's delicious and simple, and is a favorite among many tailgaters and college students. Turning a beloved food invention into a pizza isn't a terrible idea, but maybe this just wasn't the right one to try. It did cause a stir, if only for everyone going, "Say what?" But the hype just didn't live up to the actual pizza, and customers called Little Caesars out on their gimmick. Also, the Fritos didn't even come on the pizza. They were still in the bag, and the customer had to put them on top. No, this isn't a particularly difficult task, but it does kind of beg the question of what the whole point is. If it's a Frito pie pizza, shouldn't it come with Fritos already on the pizza? Little Caesars said this was to maintain the integrity and crispiness of the Fritos, and we get that, but it's kind of a cop-out. Truffles are not typically something you associate with fast food. This subterranean fungus is one of the most expensive ingredients in the world. Black truffles, on average, cost $95 an ounce. White truffles can cost as much as $168 an ounce. No one is going to spend that much on a burger from Carl's Jr., are they? With the nationwide rollout of the truffle items in March 2019, Owen Klein, the vice president of the company which owns Carl's Jr., explained, "Truffle is traditionally viewed as a rare indulgence, and we're bringing it to the everyday dining experience by infusing the distinct truffle flavor into an entirely new offering for our burger-loving customers. Infused means it's probably truffle oil they're using. And while still not cheap, it is far more cost-effective than using actual truffles. The whole shtick of the truffle burger and fries is that allure of luxury. It's a good hype machine, that's for sure. Fancy fast food? Sure, why not?"
Florida truffle?
The reviews were relatively positive, though not mind-blowing, and certainly not worth all the hype. People said that the truffle flavor took over the cheese, and the whole thing was a little too greasy. Sonic Drive-In, in terms of fast food restaurants, already has built-in hype. They come to you on roller skates. That's just fun and, truthfully, should be hyped up. However, when it comes to Sonic's famous Slushes, they're always trying to get more people to drive on up and make an order, even if that order gives you wings. Yep, that's right. Sonic paired up with Red Bull to give the masses not only a sugar rush, but an energy boost as well, in the spring and summer of 2019.
I had a couple Red Bulls. Have you ever had a Red Bull? I never had a Red Bull before, but I had a Red Bull last night. I really like Red Bull.
Sometimes overly hyped means that an item was really good and needed to be around longer. The Sonic Red Bull Slush and its Red Bull Cherry Limeade version were only available from the end of April to June. That's it. People loved the slush. It was refreshing, energizing, and actually a really good collaboration. Yet Sonic pulled it instead of extending it. This was just a case of not really listening to the customer base and hyping something up so much that everyone wanted it, only to take it away. Let people give you money, Sonic.
They won't take my money.
There's nothing wrong with brands trying to be creative and push the envelope, but one of Burger King's menu additions in 2019 just couldn't live up to the hype. What are we talking about?
Tacos, Ashley, tacos.
The main problem was Burger King's tacos barely deserve to be called tacos. They're sludgy, gooey ground meat messes in a soggy tortilla shell that just make you sad. No one should be sad eating a taco. These were downright depressing. Burger King had a taco variant on its menu in 2010, so maybe they were just hoping people had forgotten that when they launched their campaign for the $1 crispy tacos in July 2019. Alas, that's not the case. They hyped up the taco a lot, saying their West Coast customers love them, and so they should go national. They used imagery that made it look almost passable, but in the end, it was universally panned by critics and cursed in bathrooms everywhere. Taco Bell was also a victim of the hype machine that was the 2019 fast food industry. If you're not familiar with it, the Carolina Reaper is the spiciest pepper in the world. Think of the spiciest pepper you've ever eaten and then triple it, at least. Maybe quadruple.
It's not so bad.
It's more tingly than hot.
Yeah.
The fact is, it's spicy, about 200 times hotter than a jalapeno, just for comparison. So of course, were it to be added to a dish, it was going to get noticed. Enter Taco Bell's Steak Reaper Ranch fries. The hype over these was that Taco Bell wanted to attract spice heads and those who wondered just how hot these fries were going to be. Just how much pain did you want to be in while eating French fries, essentially? The Reaper pepper was added to the ranch sauce that goes on top of a mix of French fries and steak. The sauce was far hotter than their fire sauce, though maybe not quite at Diablo sauce level because of the ranch. Basically, it wasn't going to send anyone into a coughing fit. So much for the Carolina Reaper. The general consensus was that the burrito was better and more substantial. Also, they simply can't compare to Taco Bell's nacho fries. Those were the real winner of 2019. Another month, another Starbucks limited edition Frappuccino trying to make it big. Starbucks keeps playing the game, and they tried once again in 2019 to come out with an insanely colorful and weird-tasting drink in hopes of making it onto everyone's Instagram pages. The tie-dye Frappuccino from Starbucks was supposed to be their it drink of the summer. They outright admit they were just trying to make something that looked like summer, that was pretty and colorful. Did anyone notice that they built up all that hype and didn't really talk at all about the actual taste of the drink? Who cares about how a drink tastes when it looks so great with the one filter, right? We will admit that the use of powders, turmeric, beet, and spirulina to give each Frappuccino a unique tie-dye look is really kind of genius. But when the drink is basically just a regular cream Frappuccino with mysterious tropical fruit flavor, we have to raise our eyebrows a bit. Not to mention the tie-dye Frappuccino, much like all of their other overhyped limited-time drinks, was only available for a few days. The pictures were indeed pretty, but most of them didn't even look like the official marketing pictures. And that was really the whole point, right? Overly hyped for sure. This monstrosity is one of those menu items that was made purely to either disgust people or to get them to try it out of morbid curiosity. Look, KFC chicken is not bad, and Cheetos are not bad. Together, it's a neon orange horror show. Look, nothing should be that vibrant color of orange, especially not something you're going to put into your body.
There's nothing wrong with a little fast food once or twice a meal. Heart attack!
All that said, this was an insanely clever idea on KFC and Cheetos' part. Of course, people were going to run out to try this. How could they not? The hype was real. The KFC Cheetos Sandwich was introduced as part of a pop-up in Manhattan that offered other KFC and Cheetos creations like hot wings done Cheeto style, Cheetos top fries, and Cheetos macaroni and cheese. Though it's really the sandwich that captured people's attention. The sandwich itself tasted the way slowly drowning in a pile of Cheetos dust tastes, but with chicken. The overall consensus was that it just missed the mark, not living up to the hype and insane marketing. Now, don't get us wrong, we love the chicken sandwich from Popeyes. It's a crispy, juicy work of art.
Critique is so limiting and emotionally draining.
However, the insane furor over the sandwich created much more of a fuss than the thing itself. Its release and subsequent viral tornado was one of the most insane examples of capitalism gone haywire we've ever seen. What really topped it, however, was its return later in the year. Look, the sandwich is delicious, but that's no reason to actually throw punches. or ruin your car, or murder someone. No sandwich is worth actually dying over. The tragedy really marked how overly hyped the Popeyes creation had become, and the danger of consumerism getting out of hand. At the end of the day, it's just a chicken sandwich. A customer even had the audacity to sue Popeyes over not being able to get a chicken sandwich. And let's not even get started on the adverse effects on the poor Popeyes employees who had to deal with this all along the way. Long shifts, feet going numb, bras of their own, and dealing with constant threats from customers. Maybe the chicken sandwich shouldn't have come back at all. Besides, a lot of customers complain that its second coming wasn't as good as the first, with patties being smaller or simply just not as good. Sometimes there's hype, and sometimes there's truly being overly hyped to the point of danger. Popeye's chicken sandwich definitely falls into the latter category. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more MASH videos about fast food are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.